Hello everyone, and welcome to a new episode of LostinTranslationmon. This time we're covering Digimon Ghost Game Episode 2, The Mystery of the Museum. I'm joined by the lovely Quinn.
Hi.
And the lovely Chloe.
Hello.
So first up, quick bit of housekeeping. Ghost Game will have no episode come out on the 17th, which is next Sunday, so the next episode. And this is, I think, because of an election happening. I'm not 100%. Somebody said election, and I was just like, let's go with that. So,
Yeah,
but there'll be no Digimon episode. So we will be stupid democracy doing a thing. But anyway, so
we no
obviously
longer
if you're in
Abe, so at least that's something.
yeah.
But
So
moving on.
if you're in Japan, vote. Voting is important because you need, you can get your thoughts across, and it's good. So if you're in Japan and you listen to this, go vote. Or if you're in any country and there's an election or any vote, anywhere you are, vote. But anyway, so we won't obviously be covering Ghost Game next week because there's no new episode, but we will be finally getting around to covering Digimon Last Evolution Kizuna, and Eevee should be there too. So that's something that we'll be covering instead of what would be usually releasing a Ghost Game coverage podcast for. So that's exciting.
I haven't seen Kizuna, so I'm excited.
I read the novel last year, and I recently watched it like a few weeks ago for the first time. But I'll watch it again just so it's fresh. But anyway,
I don't know what this is.
So you're gonna have fun, Chloe.
Okay.
So you know the Adventure Kids that you know and love, right?
Love might be strong. But
That's
yes.
fair. That's fair. In the alternate timeline, this is what happens to them in college.
Oh, okay.
In 2010, in the far off year of 2010.
Yep.
But it's a movie that came out in 2020, about 2010.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the original Adventure continuity's very last thing. So
Interesting.
it's gonna be real cool because you have zero context and it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I mean, that's just been Digimon as a whole for me so far. It's just, here's some things that you don't know, enjoy. And it's been alright so
Yep.
far.
Yeah.
At least in Ghost Games.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is your first season of Digimon that you've seen from the start?
I watched all of Appmon with Quinn. Over
Oh,
the
yeah,
course
that's
of a
right. You
couple
have watched
months.
Appmon.
Yeah.
And the first bit of Tamers.
Yeah, but we did
Okay.
not finish Tamers.
Well, but
was
that's still
something.
exciting, so
We'll come back
that'll
to
be a
that.
treat for all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for this episode, the brief synopsis is that Mummymon is capturing various exhausted and people in low moods and is wrapping them up in bandages. Meanwhile, Hiro is realizing that he can't just leave Gammamon in his room because he'll escape, so he starts bringing him around and telling people that he's an AI hologram.
Also,
and everyone
Gammamon can
more or less
fly.
believes-
We confirmed that.
Oh yeah, Gammamon can fly. We kind of saw it in the opening animation, but yep, he can fly. He has wings. They just sort of slot in there somewhere, but that's cool. Hiro goes to the shop and lets Gammamon try various foods and starts documenting Gammamon's dialect. Scary is spicy, chocolate is champion, which is very cute. Then, with Gammamon's help, Hiro is able to break into the museum after dark to confront Mummymon, who thinks that humans will be reborn and believes that he is helping them. Hiro gets covered in bandages, and Gammamon is motivated by food, same, to rescue Hiro and evolves into Bechdel Gammamon. And then this episode passes the Bechdel test. Get it? Because we have Ruri and her friends talking, so it passes the Bechdel test, but this is Bechdel. There we go. All jokes are funny if you
They're
explain
talking
them.
about Mummymon, so I mean,
Were they?
it's yeah, because I mean the whole thing is they were talking about the AI ghost thing, and I'm like, it's on the fence, but hey,
But if
not bad.
Digimon don't have gender, and they're not
That's
sure
fair.
if it's Mummymon or if... Because look, Ruri's friends think that Ruri's crazy.
that's
Right.
fair.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
and
love
I think-
Ruri so much; she's the best.
Yeah,
Yeah,
me
I'm
too. She's
super
just
here
like,
for it.
move! I love
yes.
that. She's great. Anyway, so Bechdel Gammamon fights Mummymon while Hiro explains that he's doing the wrong thing. Then Mummymon realizes the error of his ways and wants to go to hospital to learn how to heal humans. And later, Hiro sees Ruri with Angoramon following her, and he is a big bunny,
He's shaped
and I
like
love
a
him.
friend.
He's so friend-shaped. I can't wait to meet him.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
too.
I am excited for people who are not Hero. Hero's cool,
Yeah,
but
but I-
you know,
Hero's
characters.
cool, but everyone else.
Hero's fine
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
far. His hair kind of weirds me out, if I'm being honest. but,
that's
you know.
valid.
It's protagonist hair.
Yeah.
I wish that Gammamon had not had zero answers to all of the pretty reasonable questions at the beginning of the episode.
I thought that was cute.
I mean, it was cute, but slightly frustrating to have them go, hey, so what's the plot of this series? Nah, fam.
Don't know yet. I'm sure they know. We don't get to know yet.
That's fair. Anyway, just a thought, much like myself.
What were our highlights this week?
Gammamon's squeak while being taken away from the samples at the grocery store, hands down.
Oh,
Yep, pretty
absolutely.
great.
I
That
can
might be
relate
my
to
text
that.
message tone.
Yeah, just like but also the reaching out, like the just how it's animated. These reaching out.
Too good.
It was a very, very pure moment.
Yeah. I mean, this episode in general just seemed to be animated really well. Like, everything just looked nice. And the evolution later on was, like, really nicely animated. It seems very fluid. It didn't seem like, just dragging PNGs. It felt
Ghost Game has looked,
nice.
if you'll pardon my French, pretty bitchin' so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is good. Because I feel like we thought that Colin was really well animated in the first few episodes, and it was. But I think that this feels like it's better animated than the first few episodes of Colin.
I definitely like the art direction better, and it feels like it has certainly more budget than the end of Adventure did.
Yeah.
I can't rag on Adventure Colin's beginning episodes too much, but I am inclined to say this has an art direction.
Yeah.
I feel
Well,
like.
the anime it seems to have a direction overall, which is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm digging the ghost stories thing. I'm a little curious about Dad, but not that curious because we've had Dad who created the Digivices more than once.
In Act 1 it was the grandfather, though, at least.
Sure, but
A
that's
fatherish
not
figure.
that different.
Oh yeah, in Tamers we had Jen's dad, who created the Digimon. But this one might just be he created the
And Savers.
Digivice. Oh yeah,
Who-
did he create
I don't think
it,
he
or
made
did
the
he just help on
Digivice,
it?
but I'm calling it close enough.
Yeah, he researched it. But I kind of like that sort of thing, that like the parents are, have something to do with Digimon existing. Like we had it in we had it in 02 as well. We had Iori's dad used to play Digimon with Oikawa.
Oh, you're
Like,
right. Yeah, we do
it's
this
not-
a lot, and I
yeah.
don't necessarily dislike it. It's just interesting how many times we've gone to that well.
I kind of like it. I think it's a nice way of drawing in the parents as characters, so they're not just like, these are the parents.
See,
They
in here, I
actually
was
have,
just going
like-
to say that it's just like, they needed to have the character, like, inexplicably be able to, have a reason to find the creator, and that's just because it has to be someone they know in real life, and who else do they know in real life? I guess their parents at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hiro sure does seem to have money and live independently without his parents.
I think it's like it seems to be a
He's
school
in a
dormitory.
boarding school, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it looked like
fair.
a boarding school.
But
Like, his parents might be loaded still.
yeah, but like Dad is presumably dead, and I think Mom is off in another country. It's
Dad's, well, he's not dead.
you know what I mean.
Dad's I think
digitized.
he's in the digital world or
Okay,
something.
he is missing, presumed by the government, I'm guessing, to
Probably. If they're aware
have
that
gone
he's
out for a
even-
pack of cigarettes and never come back.
Well, do they even know he's gone? I don't remember at this
Yeah,
point,
I guess I
actually.
don't really know. They were a little unclear. I don't know if Mom even knows to be worried.
Yeah, I mean,
Hiro-
last episode we kind of saw something, and it was very quick. It was like there was some attack.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's another weird thing to have as a highlight, but I'm also going to say again, I really like how they're kind of leaning into the horror stuff. The some of the mummy imagery, especially when like it was from the point of view of the camera inside the safe, or not safe, but the display case, reminded
Yep.
me of just like the tiniest little segment of some show I saw as a little kid that scared the crap out of me and like traumatized me for years, of someone like getting hit by just like mummification gas and then just like becoming a mummy. And so it's like I'm getting some actual horror vibes here, and I really like it.
Traumatize
Yeah, it
the
was.
children.
I mean, I feel like this is again, I'm going to say the same thing as I did in the last episode, but it's
Don't
a good
traumatize the
level
children,
of
by the way.
scary. Yeah, no, don't traumatize the children, but also I feel like this is a good level of scary. It's scary, but it's not too scary that
Yeah, it's
I wouldn't,
cartoony
like
scary.
it's not for kids.
Yeah.
It's very much just like, this is the extent. If they went beyond it, it would be probably too scary for kids. But this is a good level of of fear. Like, it's kind of almost Goosebumps level of like, this is horrifying, and it might give some kids nightmares.
Yeah,
But
or
overall, it's fine.
some viewers who are old enough might remember Nickelodeon's Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See, I
This is
knew of
kinda
it,
on that
but I
level.
never watched it because I didn't have Nickelodeon.
that's fair.
But I did know of it, but I never watched it. But yes, that's sort of anything that's like horror for kids.
I'm down for it. Just
But yeah, I like the horror aspect, and I really just like how Mummymon wasn't really a bad guy. He's kind of just a little bit misunderstood,
yeah.
or rather, he misunderstood the situation and how humans work. And because Mummymon's a perfect level, it would have felt weird if we had Gammamon evolve and then beat a perfect level as an adult. Even though we have seen that before in Adventure. We had Togemon beat Monzaemon and Kabuterimon beat Andromon, and even though Kabuterimon was
put up a better fight than I would have expected.
Yeah, but I like that it wasn't just fight. It was also Hero kind of explaining to Mummymon, hey, humans actually die when you wrap them up and don't feed them. Yeah, that was really neat. It was like kind of like we're talking, and I feel like this happened a lot in Atmon, where a lot of the time it maybe wasn't just a fight. It was just like I think it was the roleplaymon one, and it just wanted somebody to play the game, and then Haru played the game and really liked the game, and that was all that roleplaymon wanted. Like there wasn't really a fight
and
there.
And someone lost the game.
Oh no, nah.
Here, I'm gonna.
No.
That was a clap to get the little smack that the mic didn't catch.
Yeah, thank you. Oh my gosh, I forget about that every so often, but then I remember. I'm just like, oh no.
I couldn't help it. You said the game too many times in a row.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It does really be like that when you do that. But anyway, I'm sorry, dear gentle listeners.
I observe the ancient traditions as they were laid
Same.
down.
There's probably some people listening right now who are like, "What's the game?"
They can look it up.
Because they weren't in high school. If they weren't in high school in like the late ooze, I think it would have been.
Yeah, we're definitely dating ourselves here.
Yep.
Yeah, dating ourselves.
Ooh.
Narcissists.
Ooh. Speaking of vaguely ooh things, can we please, because I really was waiting to just bring this up, but Mummies of the World?
Oh my god, yes, the Mommies of the World.
And it was so down for the Mommies of the World exhibit.
Yeah.
It was spelt like mummies, as in how an American would spell mum, like M-O-M. So it was Mommies of the World.
Mommies of the World.
And they obviously mean mummies as in, the mummified ancient Egyptian mummies, but it just says Mummies of the World on like the exhibit poster, and this is just so precious.
It was lovely.
I have a very specific friend in mind who would like to go to the Mommies of the World exhibit.
I think we all do.
Is it me?
No.
Okay.
And I guess while we're on the topic of weird translation weirdness in the subtitles, we have someone looking at their phone, it's like, what's this? A mirror? And the reason for this is because mira means mummy, as in Egyptian mummy, not mommy, but it also sounds vaguely like mirror. And then we've got mirror, as in a mirror on the wall, which is, I've always commonly known it as kagami, but it can also be read as mira. So they kind of got mira and mira
the translators
confused.
Just got a little confused. They had the spirit, but
they're looking at a picture of a mummy and they're like, what's that, a mirror? It's so funny.
I mean, my guess would be that it was probably, well, I don't know. The word mummy did come up an awful lot. I'm like, I could believe that that's not a word that they knew, because it's not one that I knew before this episode. But at the same time, it sure did come up a lot.
Yeah, it definitely did. So that was a funny little thing. But back to highlights. Do we have any other highlights? Because I actually have a few.
Yeah, no, it was a really sick episode. I enjoyed pretty much from start to finish.
Yeah, I feel bad because I'm going to forget her name again, but what's her bucket? Just trying to get the mummies to move in front of the display case was
Ruri,
so
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Ruri.
I had to officially say it again for the highlights because couldn't just let it slip by.
Ruri's
Yeah, that
amazing.
was precious.
I love
was
her
absolutely
friends.
Yeah, I like how her friends are also detailed. Like, they're not just like, yes, this is miscellaneous friend number 1 and miscellaneous friend number 2. Like, they seem to have
I believe
designs.
we'll get to know these characters by the end of the season, which would be nice. Because we need more girls.
Yeah, and maybe one joins the group. But I'm thinking that if anyone's going to join the group, it's going to be Hero's friend who... I worked out who he was. He is I'm not sure if anyone else has seen Clanad, but he is the friend from Clanad.
I have not.
Like, he's blonde, and he just reminds me of Hero's friend in this so much.
Is this the friend who got aged last episode?
Yes, the one who came back and he was just like, "Oh, I got kicked out of the hospital because I hit on all the hot nurse."
Oh god,
And I'm like,
I managed to block him out.
Yeah, I had really hoped that we were going to do like a what was his name? The recurring character in Atmon.
Oh no guy.
Yeah, like do
Oh, no,
that.
guy,
Except
yeah.
it's him almost getting killed by a Digimon every week, and I'm sad that
I
didn't
wanted
come
that.
through.
Yeah, me too.
I really hope he doesn't join the cast because I hate him.
What about? I'm not sure. Did they actually specify the gender of the nurse? Because I'd really like the show to turn around and it's actually just a hot male nurse.
I mean, that'd be cool, but they
That
sure
could be fair,
didn't
but-
do that.
Yeah, and still don't harass nurses.
Also that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely don't harass
hit on
anybody, but it
service employees, they can't tell
Yeah.
you no.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I feel like that'd be. I think I know. I feel like I'd like that more.
I mean,
Just
yeah,
because it's a queer character.
it would be nice if Digimon would have an explicitly queer character.
Yeah.
I mean, they did in Atmon in the background. There were two girlfriends.
That does not count.
Were there? The fact that I don't remember
Yeah.
anything means
They
it
were
doesn't
just
count.
random people on a subway.
Oh, okay.
No, it was they were looking at someone's, I think it was like their Twitter account, and they were talking about like their anniversary with their girlfriend or going on a date with their girlfriend.
Even so, that does
Yeah,
not
it was
count.
very minor.
Having a main-ish
Yeah.
character
Yeah.
would be sick.
A character with a name
Oh, yeah.
would be...
Yeah, but yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know, I had really high hopes for Hero's friend character being a fun character, but that was kind of like, oh no, he's just going to be, his character is just going to be the perv, and I really hope that he's not. I hope that
Yeah.
he's more than that.
Yeah.
Like, I hope this is just a once-off.
Here's
Yeah,
Like, just a once-off sort of thing.
Just,
I can't
just
say I'm going to hold my breath for it.
yeah.
but-
Ideally, they just never come back to this and drop that thread, please.
Yeah, though, yeah, anime usually likes to go hard at this sort of
Yes.
pervy character,
Unfortunately,
comic relief
they do.
pervy guy. Yeah, hope they don't do that though. That'd be nice.
Yeah, especially again, Digimon. You are for children.
Yeah, and your characters are children. Mm-hmm. Well, basically, I think they're teenagers at least. Yeah, so they're a little bit older than
They
they were
can't
in
be more than
Adventure.
about 14, though.
Oh yeah, I think they're all 14. Kiyoshiro, I think, has skipped like 2 grades, so he is probably the youngest. But yeah, they're all like young teenagers. But anyway, yep.
Yeah, I loved Mummymon's design, but I
Yes.
did wonder, right the moment he whipped out the machine gun, why does Mummymon's design have a machine gun?
Because
Yep.
you know all the mummies were buried with their machine guns. You know that.
Their most valued possessions.
You know,
Also-
I never really thought about it in 02, but when, you know, he went full Wolfowitz on us.
He was so like useless in 02. Like this was a scary Mummymon. Mummymon in 02 was just kind of, I don't know. He felt kind of
Comic
weak.
relief, yeah.
Yeah, he was just. Yeah, but I liked this Mummymon, but also I didn't realize that Mummymon had like robotic legs,
Yeah.
which
Because,
surprised me.
you know, yeah, it's just what if Andromon but older.
Yeah,
It's a Terminator mummy.
In fact, I think this is just what happens if you take the armor off of Andromon.
horrifying,
Prove me wrong, though.
but I like it. Yeah, no, you're definitely right. Something I really liked about this episode was how they explained why Gammamon can't be left at home, and also how he'll get around with Hiro. That's kind of a nice touch to sort of get that out of the way quickly. So we're not doing a Takato just leaves Gilmon alone, and then Gilmon escapes like 3 times. We actually have Hiro being smart of like, hey, can you open this door? And then Gammamon can, and he's like, okay, can't leave you here. And then later on, they see a Tumon, and Hiro's just rummaging through the bushes, and then some women see him and say, oh, look at that AI hologram in his backpack. And then in the store, the Hiro tells the woman serving like the free samples, oh, this is an AI hologram.
Yep.
So I like that they get that out of the way really quickly, because otherwise, if it was just, oh, there's a Digimon in the backpack and nobody's paying attention to the Digimon in the backpack.
That being said, I have to assume that we're just, you know, an episode away from finding out that, oh yeah, Hiro, you just never pushed the please turn back into invisible mode button.
Oh, I mean, considering we see Angoramon at the end of the episode and he's sort of like a hologram.
Yeah, the
Like
only
in the same way that
possibility is
Tumon
that
was?
Ruri doesn't actually know he's there yet, but I don't think that'll turn out to be the case.
Yeah, I guess that is a possibility that Ruri can't actually see them yet. Like, I mean, we're not
I'd be
sure if,
down.
you know, maybe she doesn't have a Digivice yet, because if, you know, Hiro's father has all the Digivices, then, and if the Digivice helps you see the Digimon, then I guess maybe she's just being followed around by Angoramon, who thinks she's really cool. Like, maybe he's a fan of her Twitter page or whatever she has, which is
kinda what I
actually, I
was
like
saying.
that.
Yeah, she said, "Hey, I want to meet a Digimon ghost," and so showed up.
Just waiting for his opportunity.
Exactly.
That is so sweet. I don't even know what the
Kinda
character's going to be like, and I'm
stalkery, but-
excited.
It definitely won't be that, but I hope that's what next episode is.
Yeah, well, we see in the preview a little bit, so that's pretty cool. Speaking of which, I like how we're slowly meeting the characters still. I like how this episode just sort of builds on what we already know from the last episode, and we're not going full into like, oh, and here are all the characters and all their Digimon and all their evolutions. We're doing it kind of piece by piece. We get to see Ruri again in this episode. She's investigating with her friends, and they kind of think she's a little bit crazy, but they're going along with it. And Kiyoshiro is, again, the gem of everything, just being perfect.
He's
I love
wonderful.
him. Yeah.
We're
Absolutely
kind
precious.
of Atmoning it again, where we've got we've got Haru and Eugene, and then we've seen the other characters, but they aren't really like characters yet.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that
Yeah.
they're just kind of like, yeah, they're there, but like you'll get to know them later. We're developing the characters
Yeah,
at first.
Yeah, but no one
Tamus does
dies
that
of glow
a little
yet.
bit as well. No one has evil glowing eyes. But if it's Hero's friend, like that could be pretty cool.
Pardon y'all, Clockmon probably had evil glowing eyes, I think.
That's fair, but we haven't had
Yeah, but
any
he's-
humans stare meaningfully into the camera to make sure that the children know not to trust him.
Yeah, that was very sudden, and then is never discussed for like 40 episodes.
It's
That was
so
great.
long. Also, you're
'Cause I
supposed
remember
to
thinking about
infer
it.
that Eugen summoned
Scopemon
in episode 4. Yeah, you just
Yeah, but apparently they were meant to explain it, but they ran out of time to explain that was actually Eugen in episode 4. So the whole time I was watching that series, I was like, cool, do we know who the Shadow Apply driver is yet? And we don't. It's so sad. Even though, like, I think I kind of assumed it was Eugen because of the glowy eyes, but anyway, we've already spoke about Atmon. This is Ghost Game time, which is very Atmon.
Ghost Gum definitely learned a lot from
Ghost Gum. Gammamon!
Ghost Gammamon learned a lot from Atmon.
Yeah,
which is good.
Also think it's kind of interesting, and well, actually, this might be more of a miscellaneous thought than a highlight. Never mind.
You can say it if you can say it here if you want.
I do think it's maybe a positive thing. I think it's interesting how we haven't actually like necessarily triumphed over any bad guys yet. You know, Clockmon got away, and we kind of like showed Mummymon the error of his ways.
Yeah, told him not to
Yeah,
get caught
I
again.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more than just
I
the
really hope
way
we
to
check
win
back
is
in with him, though.
I really do. Yeah, and Clockmon, obviously.
Yeah, I'll be disappointed if Mummymon doesn't show back up, but
At
a
some
team
point.
support
I
of
hope-
some kind at some point. That'd be
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised if he didn't, because Digimon like to bring back characters that you met at the start of the show later in,
yes,
like,
they do.
for
They
like
sure do.
quick nostalgia.
And that can
Because
segue
Digimon
into
Colin
one
did
of
it.
my lowlights, but
I still
only for
have
Reddy.
highlights.
Yeah.
I
Go
have
ahead.
highlights. So I felt like this evolution felt earned, and it was kind of heartwarming. Like, we have Gammamon just sort of say all the things that he ate to sort of power him up and hype himself up, and then Hero calls out champion because that's what he thinks chocolate is called. And it's so precious, and it feels like it's well earned. Like, we know that they have bonded, and Gammamon does care about Hero because they bonded over food. I kind of think that's so sweet.
Yeah, it was a very cute moment.
I broadly agree, but that will bring me into a low light that I'll talk about when we get there.
Okay, well, my only lowlight is that, one, the episode ended, and also I'm not really sure about Bechdel Gammamon's weird crotch plate.
Yep, that's fair.
But that's
I hadn't
about
even
it.
noticed,
So
honestly.
it was the only thing I could notice. I was like, why? That's an interesting. I guess they felt like the chest area was too blank and like gave some.
Gotta do something
Plate.
to spice it up.
Yeah, he's got like a breastplate and a crotch plate and shoulder pads. But yeah, what are your lowlights?
So I guess for me, I said this last week, but the product placement is just bugging me. Especially with the like fitness app aspect of the wrist brace being for children, it just kind of creeps me out, and I wish we were doing less of that. But
I'm not getting that impression at all, because it doesn't feel like it's not really highlighting what the Digivice does. Like, it feels almost separate to the actual thing. So I'm not really feeling that it's that much of
yes
a
and no.
product placement. Yep.
I feel like, if I'm a kid who doesn't already have the product, then I think that's what the product is, and then I might buy it and be disappointed that it's not that,
There's some of that, and I guess I don't know a lot about what the actual bands
I also,
are like,
yes, have no idea how the actual bands work.
Well, okay, so in the episode when Gammamon is saying the various bits of food that he's had and that little gauge starts filling up, that gauge are your vitals, and those will increase or decrease depending on, like, your heart rate. So if your heart rate moves around a lot, they'll go up. If it doesn't detect your heart rate, it'll go down. And it sort of influences what evolution you'll get depending on how full your vitals are, as well as a few other things like battles and trophies.
Okay. So, like, that screen does at least exist in the vital bracelet?
Yep.
Oh,
that
okay.
does exist in the
I was
vital
expecting
bracelet.
then.
Yeah.
But yeah, I won't harp on it, but the capitalism.
That's fair.
See, I'm not like... there was also a live-action sort of, like, series for the vital bracelet where it had a bunch of kids, like, do things like exercise and get evolutions that way and battle online with it, which is what you can do. You can battle with the app online and raid with people, which is pretty cool. And I felt like that was a pretty good showcase of the functionality of the vital bracelet. But it doesn't really feel like a big thing. If they were showing the dims off more, that would feel more like they're trying to get sales. But
give them time, yeah. We got to work up to that to make sure that the kids know what thing to ask their parents to buy next. Mm-hmm. They need the expansion packs.
I don't think that they will be using the dims in the case of, like, kids can have multiple dims, because it feels like they're only going with one partner. The functionality of the dims in the real life vital bracelet is that each dim will have a different roster. So, for example, there's an Agumon dim, and Agumon can evolve into, obviously, Greymon and Andromon and Sealamon and a bunch of other Digimon that have sort of showed up in that anime. And we also have Gammamon's dim, which has, obviously, Gammamon, and then he's got his various evolutions that we kind of see in the opening animation. And you can put in a different dim to get a different Digimon's roster. So it's sort of based on whatever child that is. So there's also going to be a Jellymon dim that's coming out, as well as an Angoramon dim.
Air, can you take a breath?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I do have a counterpoint, though, which is that you'd mentioned that they do seem to definitely be, tying, a person to their buddy, but... Haru's buddy was definitely Gachmon, but he also had all those other chips,
And
yeah.
Also, I'm like, we had a dim show up to hold a map.
Yeah, there is that.
I will lay down money that the dims show up because, we can sell them to children.
Yeah, like that too, but I don't think it'll be shown off in the way that they actually function.
No, I agree. I just...
Yeah.
Definitely think that they will show up and be shoehorned into the plot.
The dim showing up in Adventure was so weird.
And then it
didn't do
matter
anything.
At all. It was just, hey kids.
Yeah, because that episode did come out around the same time as the VB did, so that was kind of... That was some product placement. But I'm not getting it as much for this one.
I think you just enjoy the product placement. I'm not...
Oh yeah, that too. But for comparison, in Cross Wars, there was the Digivice the Crossloader that was a toy, and it had a microphone in it, and you'd open up the microphone and you'd hold it against a certain sound, and it might get a Digimon from that sound. Now, at the end of every Cross Wars episode, there was sort of a Digimon encyclopedia that Colin had. Mm-hmm. But at the end of it, it would play a little tune, a little melody, like and you'd hold up your crossloader and you'd get whatever Digimon that they were telling you about in that Digimon encyclopedia. So that felt like more obvious product placement than this one.
It's definitely there too.
Yeah.
I wish, it's a lot to complain about it, because obviously we've been doing this for 20 years now, but it sure feels like it's been cranked up a lot in the last couple of years.
Speaking of things that we've been doing for 20 years, my low light is that, God, I wish Digimon could make a series where I didn't need 20 years of background information to, know anything. Like you mentioned earlier that Mummymon is a perfect level Digimon. I had no clue of that, so I didn't know that it was such a mismatched fight. And like with a new series, I feel like this is the perfect time to just make it all new Digimon, so a scrub like me can enjoy it as well without having to look at wikis all the time. But
or at very least
also
explain that.
Yeah, but it's not like I really had any expectation of them doing that, so like I'm not like super bummed about it. I just wish that they would do it at some point.
Yeah. And
we don't have an analyzer, like, that tells us what level things are.
So it's clear that the viewer should want to know things at this point, because we have, the audience surrogate talk into the camera and say, hey, I'd like to know about things like, excuse me, my dad, or what's an evolution? And at no point is any of that answered, which is just kind of aggravating.
I think Gammamon's just a baby. I feel like he doesn't actually know.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Like, I'll give it time to explain things. I'm not sure if they will, but
and I'm sure that they will.
They will.
It was just sort of frustrating to have them like be very aware that you probably want to know this, huh? Too bad.
At least Hiro asked. Like, I would have been fairly annoyed if Hiro didn't ask at all, because I would have had those questions. But instead, like, they're not answering them, but they're also saying, hey, these are questions that we'll probably find out later. But Gammamon doesn't really know. Like, hey, where's my dad? Over there. Like, vaguely pointing. What's a Digimon? Mon. Digital Mon.
Yeah. It is definitely very different from Palmon not knowing what photosynthesis is, but being able to explain an awful lot else.
Yeah.
What a good moment.
What a good moment. Any other lowlights?
Chloe?
I don't think I had any. I think it was just I wish I didn't have to have all this background knowledge.
Yeah, that is fair.
But otherwise, I'm on board. It's been good so far.
So, miscellaneous thoughts. Chloe had something that the people needed to know about?
Yes. And so, to be fair, there might one day come an episode of Ghost Game where this anecdote might be more relevant. But until we get to the Nightmare Monster Digimon, I just needed the world to know about how... So, the other week, actually I believe just after recording the first episode of Ghost Game, I had a nightmare where I was hiking with Quinn, and because it was a dream and nothing made sense, the path we were hiking on just kind of gave out at one point. Not while we were walking on it, fortunately, but, like if you imagine just kind of like a stairway down a mountain, and then just remove about 20 feet of stairs, that's basically the scenario we were in. And so I was like, gosh, I really don't know how we're going to get down this, but like, we kind of need to get down the mountain. And Quinn just wordlessly, from about 20 feet back, just sprinted at the thing, did a backflip, and then just slammed into the side of the thing and fell off the mountain. And I thought she died, and I was so scared. And then I woke up. And then like, cried for a second and then realized, oh crap, I just woke Quinn up, and now I need to explain to her why I'm crying, and she's going to be so mad at me. And she was.
A little bit.
I'm sorry that my subconscious apparently decided you were such a moron.
Yeah, I mean, that happens. Like, I'll have that about, like, either my partner or the dogs. Like, I'll have to, I'll shake someone up and they'll be very upset, but I'll be happy because I've confirmed that the dream was just a dream. Mm-hmm. So I get that.
The worst thing, though, is that Quinn keeps giving me shit about it now. Like, there was someone who we saw doing a wheelie on a motorcycle for about a block, and Quinn just turned to me and said, no, that's the kind of person who has a backflip off a mountain.
But I bet it looked sick!
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if she'd stuck the landing, it would have been sick.
That's what I'm saying. See, that's why I'm offended. It's not that I wouldn't do it, it's that I'd stick the landing.
Anyway, that was the whole anecdote.
Thank you for sharing.
You're
right,
welcome.
the people did need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any other miscellaneous thoughts? Because I'm still, dying over Mummies of the World. It gave me so much joy.
Yeah, Mommies of the World is top.
Mommies of the World, unite.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were our favourite characters? Because mine was very, very much Gammamon.
This is surprisingly tough.
I'm real tempted to say Ruri. Ruri's pretty great.
I kind of thought you would.
Yeah. I want.
Are we locking in that answer?
Well, I want to. Well, I mean, I guess.
I definitely feel like I should branch out, if only because she wasn't really a character. She was just wonderful for a moment.
No, Quinn. She with her move. She had more character than Sora in the entirety of Colin. So that was definitely some character.
All right,
So
you talked me into it.
answer.
I'll take a Ruri.
Okay, you'll take Ruri and Chloe.
That's fair. See, I'm kind of caught in the same predicament where I want to, but I just feel like she wasn't really around enough for it to be valid. But at the same time, that is dumb because, put me down as a Ruri as well here. Yeah.
You talked us
that is
into it
fair.
there.
Appreciate it.
Well, I'm sticking with Gammamon, but like honorable mention for
solid
Mummy.
choice.
Yeah, it was
between
the
Gammamon
Squeak
and
is a
Ruri.
really honorable mention. The Squeak almost got to be the best character on its own.
I said out loud when it happened, favorite character, Gammamon Squeak.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Gammamon's. If this was a Colin episode that was bad, we would have just had that as an abstract concept of Gammamon Squeak. Mm-hmm. But no, Gammamon is good, but yeah, honorable mention to Mummymon because, I don't know, I really, really liked how we not like...
That was good with that
it's not
resolution.
necessarily just... Yeah, it's not necessarily a let's fight, let's win, yay! We actually kind of talked about our problems, and Hiro immediately from the start was talking about his problems, and that's great. Mm-hmm. But Gammamon, that Squeak, reaching out for food,
I want
really
Mummymon
liking
to learn from
food.
Joe.
Yeah, there'd be a good like
That'd be such a good little
team.
cameo. Just put in a Joe lookalike.
a
Put in
cameo
a
Joe.
Joe's brother lookalike.
Yep, let's do it.
That'd be so good.
Joe's multiple brothers in the original and one
Yes.
brother in the dub. Thanks, dub.
No, don't do this because I won't get the reference, please.
Okay, just so
doesn't
Joe
matter.
has two
Okay.
brothers in the original adventure, but in the English dub, for some reason, they made them the same person.
What?
Yeah, just
Okay.
no real reason. They just wrote dialogue to make him only have one brother, except in one
To be
scene
fair,
where they're standing next to each other.
They have the same character, basically. They're both doctors, and they're older than Joe.
Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, so that's the thing. Anyway, so rating out of 5, I gave it a 4, but I kind of would give it higher because I did like this episode, but I don't want to go too big too soon, just in case, like, what if this show goes really, like, I know I said this with Colin, and I was like, I gave it a 5, but this will be a 4 if the rest of the episodes are good, but I want to keep it as a 4 just because if we just keep on going up, I don't want to just give, like, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. I want to have some sort of increase between because I gave too many 4s and 5s and everything last time. So I'm keeping this as a 4 because I liked it, but I don't want to go too big too soon. But yeah, so 4 out of 5, almost a 4.5. I'm just going to keep it simple as a 4. Chloe, what was your rating out of 5?
I believe I gave a 4.5 last week, right?
Yep.
I think I'm going to do a 4.5 again, and my justification of that is that I actually do think I liked this episode better, but the longer the show goes on, the harder it is going to be to get me to give it a 5, I think.
Yeah. I certainly hope we haven't peaked yet.
Oh yeah, definitely not.
Colin sure did, right around episode 2 or 3.
Yeah, which is really sad.
Yep.
And Quinn, what are you giving it out of 5?
Similar reasoning. I'm gonna give it a 4.5.
Okie dokie.
That's more than you gave it last week, though, isn't
It is. I like this one better.
Yeah.
Right, fair enough.
Which is fair. So for ranking, I guess, are we all just going to say above last week?
Yeah.
Cool. I agree with that. So I guess the overall is also above last week. So that's
Simple enough.
fairly easy.
Simple and clean.
So
is
our ranking-
the way that's making us feel tonight.
No, it was simple and, what did he say? Dang it.
It was a different anime. It doesn't matter.
What? Oh, you're right. Oops.
Anyhow,
We haven't done Evangelion yet.
it's true. You should all watch Kaiji, a show about gambling and why capitalism is bad.
I don't think I've even heard of
Don't
that.
feel
but
like
I'll
you
give
have
it a
to.
go.
It hasn't hooked me yet.
Okay. But yeah, so just to recap, the ranking so far is in first place episode 2, in second place episode 1, which is kind of how you'd want it. You would want, like, it started off really strong, but you don't want to go down after that strong start. And I know we're still, in the strong start, but we should go beyond the strong start.
Yeah.
Those were words, right?
They sure got there.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yay. Alright, so for Pondering, Postmon, Pat, and predictions, first up for our comments on YouTube, we have Kami, who says they think Blacktailmon was the one to deliver the dim cards and also maybe Gammamon. They fell on Hero's head before he checked on the watches in the box. We see Gammamon move a book a bit afterwards without Hero being able to see him until using the dim again. So I think we're supposed to realise that Blacktailmon threw the cards at him, but he couldn't see it yet. And yeah, that makes sense. I want to see more of Blacktailmon. I love that design so much. I just love his little, hoodie. It's precious. Next, we have TGS, who says 4 out of 5. Very fun and solid start. They like how different this feels in general, which is something they like in anthology series, and they're a horror buff. So they like seeing Digimon leaning into it. The smaller cast is nice. They seem that they are taking their time with pacing them. Gammamon is also super cute, and glad he leans more towards the cute side rather than the cool side, like past Dinosaur Dragon main Digimon partners. Though I think Battle Gammamon kind of does lean towards the cool part, but he's an evolution, and that does happen. Next, we have JCMon05, who has their thoughts on Adventure : and they said they're pardoned for their delay. They says the main thing about the finale that stuck in and clawed at their mind was the appearance of Ultra-S without any explanation. I guess they're supposed to assume that Omegamon digivolved or mode changed, but it just feels like a lazy write-off. And yeah, it does. It just sort of happened and nobody even really reacted to it. It just kind of happened and then they fought for a bit. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I wouldn't have even noticed it unless you said it.
Yeah, they sure did change colors for a second.
Yep, and they had different... They swapped swords and guns on each hand.
Sometimes we had 2 swords or 2 guns.
Sometimes. Gee, Omegamon, how come your mommy lets you have 2 guns? JCMon then says they wish the show had told them something. The show's viewers aren't so well versed in Digimon lore that they can just slap anything on the screen and assume that viewers will gladly piece the ideas together into a cohesive plot for themselves. An explanation could have added greater impact to the scene. They would have loved for Blitzgreymon and Crestgurumon to have actually appeared in the episode before Jogras and Ultra-S. And yeah, I kind of assumed that was going to happen when we knew that Ultra-S was happening. I was kind of like, well, yep, we're going to have Blitzgreymon and Crestgurumon because they make Ultra-S, but no, we're not even gonna mention it.
I would have expected them to maybe lose their evolutions like Takaru did, but no, we just nope. Did a thing for a second because what's pacing?
Nah, what is pacing? Blitzgreymon was also 30 episodes before this episode, so that's so long ago. What if you missed that episode, or if you missed the Crestgurumon and Blitzgreymon episode?
Then it doesn't matter because
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they say, even though the fight animation was stunning, they can't imagine a worse appearance for a new Digimon than Flash to Flight. Hey guys, I'm here. I'm out. And yeah, that's definitely what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Then they say their final thought are the 3 things that Colin handled poorly: presentation, the what; motivation, the why; and explanation, the how. And yeah, they don't really explain much. They just kind of show. But not in a sort of showing explanation, because sometimes they don't need to verbally explain, they can just visually explain, but they don't even do that.
Yeah.
Next, we have Lioli, who says, with Young Hunters, there was the one episode where the kid tried to sacrifice the whole school to a demon, so this is pure horror, whereas other series had some unsettling episodes. By the way, they're in love with Ghost Game, and I can't wait for next week, which is this week. And yeah, it was good. I really love Ghost Game. It's got a strong start, and I'm feeling pretty hopeful. I like it more than Colin.
Yeah.
Just with the 2 episodes.
Even though it's a kid's show, and I know that that's probably not going to happen, I do feel like people could die in each episode, you know?
Oh, we've had humans die in Digimon, a lot.
Oh, well, then, but shut up.
Yeah, it probably won't be anything explicit, but yeah, occasionally.
Oh, I think Oikawa going to the digital world, meeting his Digimon partner, and then promptly dying because he became a Digimon 5 seconds before was pretty,
Yeah, but he didn't die. He turned into a cloud of butterflies. It's different.
Yeah, which is more horrifying than just dying.
Yeah, well, okay, so,
anyway.
I have no ground to stand on here, basically.
Yep. It's Digimon all the way down.
I just assumed that Digimon was going to be the kind of show to not want to kill off human.
Nah,
we're not going to do random civilian casualties. We got to get our man pain out of it.
Well, but see, this does seem like it has the potential for just random civilian casualties.
I'd be down for that.
They just have random people getting aged, random people getting mummied.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even though everyone, gets
unmummied or unaged in the end. There's, I could be convinced at least most of the time that there's some actual, stakes.
Colin definitely had civilian casualties. They were just all off screen.
Yeah.
And taken care of by Grandpa, who made everything better through capitalism.
I can't believe the grandpa wasn't like the big bad.
Right? How
Like,
dare
it was such
they?
a good setup. Next, we have Sleek Emu, who says, this episode is really good, and it reminded them of the first episode of Atmon. Hero's father is just Haru's grandfather, except less shouting, which is a downgrade for them, which, yeah, agree.
Haru's
They were
grandfather
hoping
was pretty great.
Oh yeah, he was great. Like, I didn't like the shouting at the start, but then it definitely warmed up on me, and I was like, yeah, shouting.
Is the exact same. Yep.
Yeah, and also the
Wonderful.
Vuvuzela. I miss the Vuvuzela. Anyway, so they also say that they were hoping that there is a reoccurring character with the same role to Caught Up Man. Just replace the girl in the beginning with the guy who looks the same. Would be scary and funny to see the guy just go, no, as he get older. And yeah, I guess but not. Like, I wish that it was Hero's friend now. I didn't consider that, but
Yeah,
gosh, that would have been
God,
so
I hope
good.
Hero's friend ends up in that role. It's a shame that we're not going to do it every episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was funny. Sleek Emu continues to say that anyway, they are glad to see that this season seems to be a bit more sci-fi like Atmon, and they hope there's no magic ass-pull prophecy stuff. Looking at you, Adventure Sci, especially no magic. Atmon was able to solve the problems without magic, just full-on sci-fi, and they can have the power of friendship, just hope it's used in a good way. And I feel like this episode did do that. Like, we had Mummymon and Hero, like, become friends almost. Like, that was nice.
Yeah,
And
it
it
was
was
the
the
power
power
of
of friendship.
Hey, dumbass, listen up.
Yeah.
And also the power of I'm motivated by food.
Yep.
Two
Yep.
big moods.
I will save my buddy for the food. And who amongst us has not?
Yeah, what a mood. Next we have Seth Gray, who says they loved it. Gammon's adorable, and yes, he continues to be adorable in this episode, so I hope that continues up. And they wondered in the opening how it's called faction. What are the factions going to be? I don't know, I feel like that's just...
Yeah, that
Not
may or may
necessarily-
not be anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be
I
kind
think
of
it's
down
just
if it were a thing,
I
but...
I
had
think
the
it's a
same
cool
thought.
English word.
Just a cool English word, you said?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just cool English words. I don't know.
That being said,
Like,
I could definitely see some like, we're dividing up territory in Tokyo or some such, and you gotta
Yeah,
form a
yeah, that
Digimon
too.
Yakuza.
It'd be cool
Oh,
if there was
that
like
would be
these
cool.
are the kids who want to be the Ghostbusters, and these are the kids who want to help the ghosts
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, the Occult Club versus the Ghostbusters Club.
Yes.
I'm here for it. That's cool.
I hope those are the factions.
That'd
if
be
there
great.
Are factions. Also, upon listening to it a second time, I do agree that the song is a bop.
It's a yeah.
It's so I have it in my head, but then every so often it changed to Gatchin
Yep,
which is one of the openings of Atmon, which is also a bop, and I was just like, this is the happiest I've ever been. Except for like it's been both have been in my head for the past week, except for like a weird moment this weekend where I think this is an Australian song, so I'm not sure if anybody else besides me will know it, but Eskimo Joe's Sweater. And I heard it on Friday night because my dog listens to the radio because I don't know.
Now, is this a song
she
called
likes it.
Sweater by someone named Eskimo Joe, or is the song named
Yes.
Eskimo Joe's Sweater?
No, it's Eskimo Joe is a band that did a song called Sweater in the 90s, and it's about a sweater that he will never wear, but then he goes to his favourite op shop named Auntie Jack's, and he finds a pair of slacks, and then he finds the sweater, and he says that the sweater looks good with his new slacks.
Good.
So it's a really good song.
It really
It's-
completed the outfit.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, it was
ties the
in-
room together.
It was, funnily enough, Quinn, it was actually in the same CD collection as The Distance. So I really didn't want to drive home that point.
Oh my.
That it was there was a CD collection in like the late 90s called Indie. And it was just all these bands, and they basically shaped my entire music tastes now. So, yeah, that's a
Incredible.
fun fact. But anyway, no, it's a bop.
Digimon,
that was my point.
steal more cake songs. I want to do
Please,
that
and
episode
maybe-
again. That'd be so...
And maybe one sweater. Can I have a little sweater as a treat? Gashmon would eat it. Anyway, next we have Andrew, who says we're finally out of the adventure nostalgia, and how Ghost Game gives them a good impression, and that they hope that they use tree evolutions more than a one-trick thing like they did in Adventure Colon. Gammamon is the little brother and must be protected. Absolutely agree. Next we have Ahmed, who says, yay, by the way, they love the Digimon Ghost Game theme songs. Yeah, same. I agree with everyone who likes the theme song. It bops. Next, we have Connor, who says they're happy that they defeated Clockmon without killing them, and it makes them think that maybe the fights in the series will involve more strategy and planning than rely on brute force like last season. And yeah, I mean, again, Mummymon wasn't defeated. He just kind of, he saw the error of his ways. I liked that.
He ran off to haunt a hospital.
Yeah.
Which I'm so here for.
God, I absolutely need an episode where we check up on him giving out free bandages.
Hey, that actually brings me to the next comment, which is from Ryan 2.0, who says, does anyone have a count on how many times they say I'm here for it? Because they're not here for it. And, I mean, that was the only time this episode I think we've said that.
Oh, no way.
I know, I
so many more
definitely did.
times.
Oh, really? Okay, I must have missed it then. But maybe it's because I was on the comments and I remembered that was a comment. But yeah, it's kind of like a catchphrase at this point.
A little bit.
Yeah.
And, I could watch myself and do it less, but what if instead I didn't?
Nah.
It's just something I've said for a long time.
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, it makes sense. Like, if you like something... Like, otherwise we're just saying, oh, I like that. I like that. Like, then we're just liking things. Like, it adds a bit more weight to it. And otherwise, if we're not saying, I'm here for it... I'm gonna start saying it's radtacular, actually.
That's the tits.
I would wear that sweater. I like that. I've got that song playing in my head now.
Would you do anything for love?
Well, I wouldn't do that.
Anything but that sweater. Anyway, JCmon05 agrees with me and says I'm not alone. They're not a fan of Lane either. So I really appreciated that validation. Thank you. And then, lastly, we have Zungle, who says the kid's getting old and not being an international deal is not a plot hole. In real life, the police would never let that info get out to the public and create panic. Like Hiro says, people know the incidents are happening, but no details are known, so rumours start spreading. And yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. But
fair.
Yeah, people know about it, but it's not like they're trying not to make a huge deal about it because I guess they don't know the...
In my day, we had journalists and they investigated, damn it.
See, I don't know, because, like, there was... the killer clowns barely happened at all, but it became a huge thing. So if people were actually getting aged, I feel like that'd be all over the place.
Yeah, I remember the killer clowns.
How many people got kidnapped by Mommymon?
Yeah, there were many people in there.
I want photos of the Spider-Mon. If Arukenimon was in this episode, that would have been much funnier as a joke. But that's saying, fair. I want photos of the Spider-Mon, damn it.
Oh, God, that's really good.
That took me a second.
Yeah, I know.
Bring me pictures of Spider-Mon.
And I'm hoping that Arukenimon shows up because
That'd be
maybe
really good.
Yeah.
Arukenimon maybe shows up in the opening animation.
I still can't believe that they managed to transliterate that as Arukenimon and not Arachnimon.
Oh, it's not as bad as Kirpimon as Karuk. Oh, here's something. Y'all don't collect the Digimon cards, do you?
No.
There are Digimon cards, too?
Yeah, there's a TCG, and there are many. Okay, so there's a current Digimon TCG game, but more importantly, Paildramon's attack. Desperado Blaster. Yes?
If you insist.
If we must.
No, but that's his attack.
I remember that
it's
being
his
in
attack
the dub, yeah.
Yeah, it's in dub. However, and it's also in the original. That's just his attack. That's the way it's always been. That's his attack. So when the card game came out, they called it Death Parade Blaster.
I remember that. That wasn't okay. I remember that from Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, it's in Cyber Sleuth as well.
I forgot about that. Death Parade Blaster.
It's great.
Wow.
And in the TCG game, there's also Baby Demon, which is Baby Dragonmon, but it is written as Baby Domon in English. So sometimes things like that happen. So Arukenimon is the lesser one. So we've got Kirpimon, Cherubimon, Arukenimon, not that bad.
Yeah, it's just still, like, for a name we said multiple times an episode for, 20 episodes of the dub, I can't believe at no point did anyone go, wait, I don't think that's how you pronounce Arachne.
No. But I love it so much.
Anyway,
so that's it for the comments. So overall, what are our thoughts of the series so far?
It's been pretty sick.
Yeah, I've got some hopes.
Another one up on the I'm here for it counter.
It was radtacular.
Yeah, I'm here for it. It was radtacular, and I would wear this sweater. I like it, and I'm hoping that it continues to be like this. Like I know that I was very hopeful at the start of Colon, and there were a few episodes in Colon that made me hopeful. But I'm hoping that we don't go that. I hope we continue to be good. And it's kind of a bummer that we have to wait a week for the next episode, like an extra week.
I'm digging the ghost stories thing. That's definitely a like much more solid starting point than, hey, remember Ty?
Let's do adventure again.
Yeah, I'm glad we're not just doing some. I'm glad it feels new. I'm glad we're not just doing what we're like just Digimon, but as we've done before, like with the Pokemon anime, most of the seasons of Pokemon are the same. They've sort of branched out recently, but more or less they all still more or less follow Ash, and that is not super interesting to me. But at least Digimon each season tries to be something different, except for when it decides to do adventure again.
Yeah,
I liked
except
when they did
decide
Atmon.
they need money.
I felt like Cross Wars was pretty good. I like that they're not, just one individual partner and Digimon team. They are a general of an army. I felt like that was a cool thing that they did. Like, each season of Digimon tries to do something a little bit different, except for when they do adventure again. But I'm really hopeful for this.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope it continues to be good.
Same.
So next week's episode is called, the subtitle said Scribbles, but I've also heard it being called Graffiti. So, what are our predictions? Because I'm kind of wondering if Dracumon might be showing up, who was in the anime start guide sort of booklet that came out, and there's a picture of Dracumon as one of the Digimon that will show up in this season. And I really like Dracumon, and I feel like he could be one to do graffiti. But the preview was fairly vague, other than we have maybe an Angoramon focus.
Yeah. I got kind of a Brandon Sanderson's arithmetist vibe from it, but, that could just be the scribbler aspect of it.
Or maybe it's that Pokemon that draws, what's his name?
Smeargle?
I was going to say Smeargle. I was going to say Sentret, but no, it's not Sentret. Yeah, Smeargle. Sentret with a pen. Jigglypuff. No, it's Smeargle, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to say what exactly that'll be. I feel like there's a, traditional ghost story that if I could think of, it would probably be a little more obvious to me, but I'm pulling a blank on it.
Yeah, not nearly as obvious as last week's was. I feel like it's
we just straight up saw Mummymon.
Be either like once you see this, you can't ever look away from your phone again sort of thing, or like your phone eats your soul thing. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
That would be creepy.
I'm just
maybe it's
very
people
stoked
going
for Ruri.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm wondering if maybe your phone sucks you into the digital world sort of thing.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I feel like we're gonna hold off on that, because...
I hope we do.
Yeah. I think we gotta establish some more real-world stuff, plus, I feel like we have to at least give some more of the friends' names. Ruri's friends have to develop at least a little bit.
Hope so. But I'm hoping it's a
Sora's
Ruri-focused episode. Oh, well, the show already did. After about 10 seconds after they showed her.
Yep.
But I'm kind of wondering if Ruri... I mean, we spoke about this before, but I wonder if Ruri and Angoramon have already met. Like, if they've met before Hero and Gammamon.
I hope they haven't. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And then we have also, Kiyoshiro was kind of being a little bit suspicious, like he kind of knows something, and whether or not it means he's met Jellymon, or if Jellymon is like Ruri, just having just following around the human.
Yeah,
like if Jellymon's just like
enough that could just be him.
Honestly, I'm hoping that that is the case, though, that Jellymon's already following him around and he's picking up on those vibes, and that's why he's
that'd be so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the impression I'm starting to get. Like, either he knows that Jellymon exists. Da 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 da. I will never wear that sweater. But no, I that's how the song goes, okay? Anyway, it's in my head. In my head, zombie. But no, I'm just feeling that Jellymon is following him around, kind of pulling pranks on him because he doesn't see her yet. I just hope there's I'm just looking forward to a lot of things. Unfortunately, we have to watch Kazuna next week instead of another Ghost Game episode.
I forgot.
Right. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So we'll just sit on these predictions for an extra week. So it'll be 2 weeks until we can know what's going on there. But I'm fairly hopeful. The episode really made me want to watch more, which is good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Any other predictions or thoughts?
It'll be rad-tastic.
Mm-hmm. I'll be
and
here
I'll
for
wear
it
that
if
sweater.
We get more info about Ruri and her friends.
Yeah, Ruri's wearing a sweater.
I'm here for it.
So as we discussed, Ghost Game isn't on next week, so we'll be covering Kazuna instead. So that could be exciting because, we get to actually watch Kazuna and talk about it, which is exciting, I guess. I mean, it's not Ghost Game, but it'll do.
We'll get our fix.
We'll get our fix. The link dump's linked in the description, and our Redbubble's also linked in the description, and you get more than just shirts there too. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode on our website, LostinTranslationmon.com, or on this episode on YouTube. You can also follow us at Translationmon on Twitter, and you can follow us on LostinTranslationmon on Tumblr, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I'm at Digimon_Hero, hero spelled Hiro, on TikTok, and you can also chat with us on the Lost in Translationmon Discord server. You could also leave us a review on any podcast catcher that you use, and if I see it, I will read it out, but if not, please let me know so I can read it out, because if I can't see it, I don't know it is there. You can donate to us on Patreon, which links in the description, from as little as $1 a month. And that gets you access to our Patreon-only areas of our Discord server, but there are higher levels for rewards, such as the segment guide, unedited episodes, and early episodes, and more, so check that out. And thank you to our current supporters on Patreon, Joe, Stephen Reeves, who is Wildwin64 on Archive Our Own, Kaidawashi, Chisai, who you can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Neobu, who says you should follow Chisai on Twitter at Chisai236, Kyle, Lismet, who is Lekmon on Tumblr, Nicholas, Sam, Emery from Gormwell Hunting, a Hunter x Hunter Rewatch podcast, Magnus, Lucas, JCMon05, Patrick, Jason, Great Tanuki, J. David, and Shelby. You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/airdron. You can also donate to me on my Ko-fi account, ko-fi.com/airdra. So of course, thank you for listening, and of course, thank you to my wonderful, lovely co-host for joining me. Quinn, can we find you anywhere?
At the bottom of a mountain, apparently.
And Chloe, besides screaming and waking people up in their sleep, where can we find you?
You can find me crying, probably. I don't know.
On Discord.
On Discord, yeah.
On Discord.
I'm on Discord.
Crying at the moon and waking up people as they sleep in a summer afternoon. So, yes, thank you so much for listening. Thanks for joining me, and we will see you on the next one. Bye. Bye.